And here we go. I like Activision. Of course, Activision was the first company that was putting programmers' names up front and center, right? So you got Carol Shaw's River Raid. I like that. Carol Shaw. I don't know what else Carol Shaw did. I'm sure she did some other stuff. We could probably look that up here in a minute. But I had River Raid for the first time. I had it on the Atari 2600. I think that's where, I don't say most people, it's where a lot of people saw the game for the first time. That was in Christmas of '82. Christmas of '82 is when it came out. And then in '83, it got, I think that's where you get the Atari 5200, you get the Atari 8-bit computers. I think probably the Intellivision one is probably '83. And then in 1984, we get a Commodore 64 release. So it's a little bit later. And I didn't get my Commodore 64 until 1985. So for me, like this was already kind of old news when I got my Commodore. I was playing stuff like Ghostbusters and Impossible Mission, and those were the things that wowed me. So this was an old game to me that didn't really wow me. I will tell you that the Atari 2600, I'm sure you probably know, doesn't have all the features that the 8-bit computer ones do. The Atari 2600 only has the helicopters and the battleships and those blue jets, and the fuel things. It doesn't have the hot air balloons, and it doesn't have the tanks that go across on the bridge. So this was... so when I played it, the first time I played it on the Commodore 64, I was a little surprised to see, the added features, which I didn't know was in every other version of River Raid except for the Atari 2600. I think maybe, I don't even know if it's on Intellivision or the Coleco. I don't know, but it was definitely on the Atari 5200 and the Atari 8-bit computer. So I think we just hit F1 here. I am using the old PlayStation USB controller, which is not my favorite controller, but let's see. So I'm sure everybody in the world has played River Raid, but if you haven't, the goal is to go as far as you can in this river. So we're flying in over a river, but in a canyon, which means that you can't hit the walls because that'll hit the side of the canyon. And one of the things you'll see is that we have a fuel gauge down there from empty to fuel. And you get, just kind of talking through the first level here, you get fuel by flying over the fuel containers. That's how you refuel. And you can speed up and slow down. So the slower you go over a fuel container, the more fuel you get. So if we slow way down, you can see you can fill up. And then one of the old tricks in the book is you can shoot while you're on it and blow it up. So that's kind of a double dipping. You can get some fuel and then blow it up on your way out the door, which seems rude. You've seen the hot air balloons. Everything kind of goes at different speeds. Now, if you can blow up the bridge with a tank that's on it, you get more points. You also have to watch out for the tanks because they will shoot at the bridge. There are probably, I'm assuming the Commodore has this. I know the Atari 2600 has some different settings in regards to like how your bullets steer. Like some versions, like this one apparently, on maybe the default, you can aim your bullets a little bit, and and hear that speed up. So you can hear the speed up and slow down of your little engine there. And you want to slow down. Good as I just shot the food. Old elf shot the food there. Oh, right into a helicopter. We are not playing on the Mister today. We are playing on WinVice, which is kind of my go-to Commodore 64 emulator. I do like. This is our first time back, and so WinVice is something I've been using for probably 20 years, maybe. I don't know. It's been a long time. Oh, see, there's a tank guy that was shooting. So I can. Oh no. Oh, now there's a tank on the side that's shooting, which is not nice at all. You can kind of see where those explosions are happening and try to avoid those things. I don't, maybe somebody could tell me, but on the Mister, can you click, like use a joystick and load Commodore 64 games? Or do you have to, go through the command line and load everything? Which I don't mind doing. But right now, this very second, I don't have a keyboard hooked up to my Mister. So I went with, is that it? All right, so what's my score? Where's my score? There I am. 7,500? That's not very good. 7,500. Yeah, so, yeah, this is, again, this is on WinVice. Now, you can't just hit the button and restart. That's annoying. You have to hit a function key, which means you have to have I would have had to have a keyboard hooked up, so it wouldn't have worked. I bought the 8-bit DOE Commodore 64 keyboard, and I have not had good luck getting that thing to work on the Mister. That was the whole reason I bought that thing. And I think it probably works. I think, if I remember right, I got it working with the wireless dongle, but I wanted to hook it up through USB-C, and it just didn't work, which I didn't. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. That's a $27 million jet right there down the drain. I couldn't get it to work. In fact, I brought it to Boat Fest. So, how many people are there? Is there anybody in the channel that is going to Boat Fest this year? Boat Fest is it's not called Boat Fest. It has a new official name. It is the International Computer Expo. I think there's the word retro in there. International Retro Computer Expo.net, something like that. I don't know. I'm not getting the words quite right, but here's what I can tell you. It is July 11th through 13th in Hurricane, West Virginia. So for those of you that follow Big Rob's van, will be happy to know that Big Rob's van will make an appearance. I will be driving a 20-year-old poorly converted camper van from Oklahoma to Hurricane, West Virginia. I believe that's about 1,000 miles. I missed the balloon. I will be camping. I'll be stealth camping. So normally what's happened, and this has kind of been a tradition, is I've ended up camping in one of the host's driveways, which is barely qualifies as camping. I would say it does not qualify as camping at all. But the van is pretty self-contained, which means I got a great bed, I got solar panels, I got water, I got everything I need, but I don't have a great way to take a shower. And the International Computer Club, it's not International Computer Club, it's I got to get the name right. I'm doing them a disservice. The Boat Fest, formerly the Expo, formerly known as Boat Fest, is a lot of things, but it's typically full of sweaty dudes, and really the last thing that the people at Boat Fest want is a sweaty Jack Flack who hasn't had a shower in a few days. So that's kind of been an issue now. There's ways around that. I'm you know what? I gotta change. I gotta change the colors on the chat thing or something because I cannot read people's names. Who is that? Oh, John Marshall. Well, of course, John Marshall will be there. John Marshall is a local to the area, and he will be there. There's lots of local guys up there. So yeah, it should be. It'll be quite the fun event. You know, there used to be a lot of those retro kind of computer events and stuff, and I don't know. I think a lot of them, like, you know, the larger they get and stuff. Obviously, the larger they get, well, they get larger, and then they get more expensive, right? And so then you end up with these big things like, and I'm not knocking it anyway, but like the vintage computers. Oh, what's my score now? 9470. All right, that's not 9470 is the new high score to beat. All right. Yeah, there's definitely something to be said for all those, you know, shows of different sizes. I think the biggest show I ever went to was CGE. I went to Classic Games Expo a couple of times. I believe I went to 2003 and 2007. I believe are the years. Both the ones I went to were in Vegas. So that was good times. Good. You know, there's something about I like, you know, I like playing old games. I like playing Commodore 64 games, all that stuff. But there's something about being around other people that enjoy the same hobby, you know. And I'll give you an example. Recently my son, who is a gamer, but he's more of a modern kind of gamer, got very excited because Nintendo is releasing the Nintendo Switch 2. And so he wanted to go to the midnight release. I said I would go with him, and so we went to GameStop up at midnight, and we bought it. And you know, I was not excited about a Nintendo Switch 2. I mean, I'm not a modern gamer, you know. But what was really fun was going up there, you know, half an hour before the release or whatever. We had to go. We had to get numbers to stand in line. And we already had reservations and stuff, but whoa, Hoyman, let me drive this thing. But what was really fun was standing around with other people who were excited about the Nintendo Switch 2, and you just heard all these little random conversations. You know, people talking about games and what they thought the new Mario Kart was going to sound like, or, you know, look like, and what was going to be in it, and what games are going to be released, and this and that. I mean, just people that were excited about games, you know. And so that's something that Boat Fest, you know, is one of the things that just makes it so much fun, right? Is just going and being around other people that like old games. You know, people bring old stuff to show off, and there's all kinds of stuff to play with it, and it's just a fun time, you know. Now, I can't believe I made it through that. I'm the best pilot. Oh, I was in the middle of saying I'm the best pilot in the world when I broke my ship up. So yeah, I look forward to Boat Fest every year. This will be the fourth year, and this is the second year that it's been in the same location, and they got a really good location last year. So I'm glad they were able to secure it again. So yeah, really looking forward to that. Now, I've been talking so much about that. I haven't been talking much about. Oh no! I sound like a bit on Tron. No. I'll tell you a funny river raid story. and that's an old one, is on the Atari 2600 back in the day. My all-time high score, I think, I mean, and this was like when I was a little kid and just had first got the game, I scored like 16,000, which is not oh boy, I saw that coming. It's not coming a mile away. It's not a great score, but 16,000, it was okay, right? And so I went to the mall one time with my parents, and we walked in through the door of the mall. We had no idea this was happening. And as we walked in through the door of the mall, there was River Raid set up on a projector, and there was an Atari joystick. And they said they were having a contest. You could pay, I don't know what it was, $1, a couple dollars or whatever. And then if you got the high score at the end of the day, you won all this money. And the high score that was listed up there was like 13,000. Is that right? I don't remember what it was. But let's say it was 16,000. But whatever it was within my grasp. I knew I could do it, right? And so I told my dad, I was like, hey, give me this money. I said, I could do this, you know? And so he did, and I played it, and I mean, at this point, I'm making up all these numbers. I at one point I knew all the numbers, but let's say I got like 10,000 on my first man, right? Like, which is it was a really good run, right? And then my ship, and if you've ever played the 2-player version, you know that player 1 on the Atari was always yellow and player 2 was black. And so my ship changed from yellow to black, and they were like, oh, well, sorry, you didn't make it. And I was like, what? And so the way that they had set up this contest was that it was only one man. So it was how high could you, what's the highest score you can get on one man on River Raid? And I was like, well, that stinks. Like they didn't say that up front, and so as a kid, I was really, I mean, obviously it was probably 30 years ago, 40 years ago. I'm still upset about it. I'm going to track down those people at the mall who are probably all dead now. I'm going to go to their family members and be like, your mother wronged me in a River Raid tournament in 1982. Yeah, so I always remember that. I will tell you that River Raid, here's a funny story too, that in probably 4th or 5th grade, so this would have been, let's say, the mid-1980s. My dad, my dad was pretty up on technology. I mean, he got us a computer early on. He got us a lot of different technology things early on, and around that time, let's say, oh, did you hear me running out of fuel? Let's say 84, probably, maybe 83, 84. We got a Mitsubishi 55-inch projection television, rear projection television. And, I mean, it was awesome. And it was right around the time, I remember, I think it was Firefox, the movie came out. It was going to be on HBO. And we were like, would you watch this in your living room? It's going to be like, you're going to feel like you're flying. It's going to be so amazing, And, oh, look, they shot the fuel. And I can't get to that one. Let's get to that one. Oh, I missed that one, too. I'm going to run out of fuel here pretty soon. All right, hold on. I'm going to tell you. So I'm playing with this D-pad, and I can't, slow down and do the diagonals without smashing into a wall, which is where I needed to be to get that fuel. So anyway, after, that was a long way to kill yourself. After the movie Firefox came out, and we watched that on the big screen, we were like, hey, what else? And we had just got the Atari 2600 wireless joysticks. And I was like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to sit all the way at the back of the living room with my wireless joysticks, and I'm going to play River Raid on this 55-inch television, and I'm going to feel like I'm flying a real airplane. And I don't know. What do I get now? Let's see. Did I get a high score? No. My high score is 10,000, though, but I only got $8,900 that time. That sucks. No one's ever going to give me a airplane. I don't know that anybody's going to give me an airplane. I don't remember getting the, this is a game where you get points for shooting stuff, so I'm not getting any points by not shooting stuff, so. Well, either my chat window has locked up, or this first stream back didn't go as well as I thought it was going to. I hope everybody is still out there and still having a good time. I have to ask if any of you guys played River Raid? If you like it, I know I saw one person who said that River Raid was a favorite of theirs. The thing I always liked about River Raid, Commodore 64 had so many games. River Raid is one. And again, it's tough to call this a Commodore 64 game. I mean, you might just say maybe Activision games. But it's those games where you can pick up, like, you literally pick this game up, you press F1, and you start flying. And it's going to say you shoot things, or you just kamikaze smash into them, right? But they're simple, right? Like it's just, you just pick it up and you shoot and you fly, and it's a type of game you can explain to somebody in I would say about 4 seconds. I'd be like, hey, don't hit the walls and shoot everything, and I mean, it might take an extra second or two to explain the fuel, but I mean, I just don't. It's just not that complicated, So I like games like that, and I sort of liked them back in the day, and I really like them now. I really appreciate it. I just I don't have and then you could follow that with a lot of things after this, right? Like I don't have the attention span. I don't have the time I used to have. I don't know that I have the brain power that I used to have. Like, I'm missing a lot of stuff that I used to have, I just don't, I've tried, for the Sprite Castle podcast, I tried reviewing some RPGs, and I just couldn't do it. I was like I was trying to do Ultima, and I was like, I don't have it in me to spend the next week making characters and trying to get that guy. I've kind of relegated myself to games that I can pick up and get started in a minute or two and just start playing. I just don't. I'm not saying those aren't good games. It's just, a lot of times the windows that I have for gaming are limited. And even it doesn't have to be a game I know how to play. Like, I'll pick up a new game, but as long as it's something that I can pick up and do, it's okay. But when you start getting into, like, you got to have a master's degree to do it. It's tough to do. Well, Tron's still alive, so that's good. All right, good. Glad I haven't lost you guys. I thought I'd put myself to sleep. I thought I was having a fevered dream in which I restarted a stream that I had abandoned. Oh, here's something else funny is not too long ago, I got a email from Twitch, and it was like, hey, congratulations, we're going to pay you because you got so many views. And I was like, I haven't streamed in forever. And I thought, is this... Okay, I better... Oh, man, I made it through there. Absolutely. I had a friend... Oh, that's stupid. Oh, that was my last band, too. Hey, but that's a new high score. 11,000. Okay. I'm trying to give myself more points. I had a friend one time that told me, this has been a couple years ago, I hadn't talked to him in a while, and we were kind of catching up. And I said, I said, what have you been watching on TV or whatever? And he was like, I don't watch TV. I was like, oh, like, yeah, I thought he was making some kind of like political statement or something. I was like, oh, okay. He was like, no, I just watch YouTube. I was like, oh, really? And I get it now, you know, like it is so much easier to watch YouTube, you know, kind of this. Like I watch a lot of YouTube shows, and yeah, they're not too long, and yeah, and people watch Big Rob's Van, or at least one episode of it. Yeah, it's definitely easier. And you know, the other thing is, you know, the older I get, I think the more we sound like, you know, how we grew up in the dark ages or whatever. But I was just telling my wife the other day, I was like, how did we live before we could pause TV? Like, you know, like we have a direct TV, and we just, you know, you can pause, rewind anything, and sometimes you forget, you know, and we'll be like my wife will be like, oh, I'm waiting for a commercial, go to the bathroom. I'll go, why? Just pause it. Just go to the bathroom, you know? Or just do what I do, just go on the couch. No, don't do that. You gotta go to the bathroom. But, yeah, just, there's so many things that I've got used to, you know, and the old DVR is one of them. Oh, did I get him? Oh no. I remember playing River Raid, and the first time I saw the blue jets, I was like, what in the world? Like, that doesn't seem fair. I also remember on River Raid, there was like, I mean, on the Atari 2600, there was some section where you could like pick left or right, and one had a lot more points, but it didn't have any fuel, you know, so you had to kind of choose, like just like the Holy Grail, you had to choose wisely. Don't choose poorly. The tanks definitely add a different dimension to it, you know, that in the Atari 2600 version. Oh, hang in there. Stay on target, Luke. Stay on target. This could have easily been a really good Star Wars game. You know, you could have turned this into the trench and had some stuff, and put some TIE fighters in there. This version has a bug. Sometimes you notice that when you start a level, and like that explosion sound. Oh, maybe that's the bridge blowing up, because I would literally be on the bridge. I always wanted to look and see if I was getting points for whatever that was blowing up. Oh no. Oh, is that an extra man? I think that's what I just heard. Then I ran into the wall. Yeah, it must be an extra man at 10,000, looks like. It's funny that I don't recognize the noise. Notice I don't recognize the noises when something good happens. I'm like, what is that? I've never heard that noise before. Oh, that means you beat the first level. Oh. I'm also worried in this game when you see a bunch of fuel things. Oh, no. All at once, because that usually means you're not going to see a bunch before too long. Nope. Yep. This feels like that part I was talking about on the Atari, except for I haven't been here. Oh, man. Is that it? New high score. Yes. All right. I abandoned TV a long time ago if it's not on YouTube or Twitch. I don't see. Oh, that's, you know, I my dad is talking about moving from coax cable, which I absolutely abhorred, to AT&T fiber, which I absolutely love. I have had AT&T fiber for a couple of years now, and I'm sure you guys have been in situations with technology, you know, where you bought a computer or laptop or something, you know, and you regretted it every day. And it's easy to remember those times, you know, because you spend money and all that. And it's easy to forget the times when you bought something and it went so right. And AT&T fiber for me is something that went so right. I have not had a outage, I don't think in a single day that I've had AT&T fiber. We've had power outages. We've had things go offline due to tornadoes and whatever, and my AT&T fiber still works. It's the best internet I've ever had in my entire life. And I only got gigabit, and I say only because really, like, my switches and the stuff I have in my house are all gigabit, so I'd have to upgrade a lot of hardware in the house to go. I think they have a 2, a 5, a 10 gigabit service, you know, and I don't know that I need that per se, but also I don't want to touch it. I don't want to touch it because it is working so good. It's been working so good, and I don't want to jinx myself. I don't want to get greedy, right? So, but yeah, AT&T fiber, man, has been. I loved it, and you know, it's changed my streaming too. I literally. Back when I had Cox, I would have to cancel streams because my Cox cable would get jittery, would stop working or something, you know. Yeah. So I don't miss that. Oops, I just shut the food again. Boom. All right. I wish, I wish as an adult, oh yeah, your AT&T fiber is amazing too. Yeah, you know what? My favorite, well, first of all, my Cox cable, gigabit, I never got gigabit. I never ever got gigabit or anything close. And then upspeed, I never got close. And, you know, what really would irk me as a guy who spent years as a network engineer, and I get it. I know I'm sure every single person that calls tech support thinks they're a network engineer, right? But I would call Cox, like my downspeed would be like 1 megabit or whatever. Like, it would be so slow I couldn't load a web page. And I would call them and I would say, listen, it's my internet's broken. And then I would call my next door neighbor and I would say, is your internet broken? He'd say, yep, oh no. And so I would call and I'd say, listen, wait, I called my neighbor and they'd go, well, did you reboot? And I'm like, listen, like I'll do whatever I would always tell them, I say, I'll do whatever you want, but my next door neighbor's internet is not working either. And I'm trying to scratch my head while playing this game. Not the best idea. And I was like, rebooting my computer ain't going to fix his internet. So, like there's a problem out here, you know. And then what would always really upset me was they would make this little veiled threat. They would go, well, we'll send a tech out there in 3 days, but you know, if it ends up being a problem on your side, you're going to have to pay for it. And I would be like, it's not a problem. It just made me mad. Like, they were like, listen, if you're that stupid, you know. And what always happened is, oh, that was so close. But this is a good game. Where am I score at right now? Oh, I'm so close. And, oh. All right. And okay. And what would happen is they would schedule the tech to come out like I'm so worked up about this Cox internet story that I can't focus on River Raid. And then now I just blew the high score. Is that they would be like, well, we'll be out in 5 days, and then it would fix itself in 3 days, and then I'd call and cancel, you know. So It's very annoying. I want to get my river raid chops up. Like I said, I have this recollection that my high score when I was a kid was like 16,000, and I probably won't reach that tonight. But so that's what I was going to say. I wish, like I don't think I wasn't a kid that would write down my high scores. I would just remember them and stuff. But I wish I had a record of like what all my high scores were back in the day. You know what I mean? Like I wish I remembered like what was your top river raid score? What was your top pitfall score? You know, and then you'd have something to compare against. Oh boy. We all have Cox PTSD now. Yeah. You know what's funny is they grandfathered me in because I started with Roadrunner Internet, and then Roadrunner got bought by somebody, and then it got bought by Cox. So when I would call, they would say like, "Oh, let me look and see how long you've had service," and then they would go, "Oh, it's been 20 years or something." I'd be like, "Yeah, I'm not stupid, you know." Like, I mean, I know. I mean, like, they get, you know, grandma's call that are like, blah, 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 you know. So I mean, they don't know who they're talking to. They don't know who they're talking to, buddy. But it would just be annoying when I would tell them, I'd be like, "Listen, you know, like I told a guy, I was like, listen, I've pinged all this stuff. I've done trace routes. Like I'm telling you, the problem's I can do a trace route to your tombstone and it dies. Like your tombstone is dead, you know." And then they'd be like, "Well, did you reboot your television?" I'm like, this made me so mad. And I can't tell you how AT&T's tech support is because I've never had to call them. I've never, not once. I've never. And that's not true when I said that it's never gone down because there was one time the internet went down and I was like, well, here we go. Like, here we go again. It's going to be just like Cox. And I looked out the back window and there were fire trucks and a car had hit the tombstone behind my house and I saw fire. And anyway, and then it was working in like half an hour or something. So yeah, that only time my internet goes down is when there's a vehicle attached to it that's also on fire. That'll do it. And you know what? I gotta say that in that scenario, AT&T was not the problem. It was probably the flaming Monte Carlo that was out behind my house. Oh my God, that was not her. Yeah, exactly. Hey, I told a technician one time. And I was just kidding. I was being funny, you know. And he was like, he said that there's something. I'd already told him. I was like, hey, I run my own server. I run my own this. I run that or whatever, you know. And he was like, oh, blah blah blah, you know. And then he goes, oh, there's a tech bulletin in your area right now. And I go, yeah, I know. I read your email. And he got all quiet. And I was like, I'm just kidding. I don't. If I read your email, I wouldn't tell you. I remember that was a popular computer shirt for a while. A lot of IT guys would have shirts that say, I read your email. I had a guy one time at work that we were trying to patch his machine, and I couldn't. Patches were failing and stuff, and I couldn't do anything. And I went and looked, and he had removed the domain admins group from his machine, which is like the ultimate, you know, security group for the domain that we did everything like we were members of, you know. And I went to go talk to the guy, and I was like, you can't do that. You can't take domain admins out of the local admins group. And he was like, well, you guys are snooping on my computer and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, well, first of all, I've never snooped on your computer. We have, and at that time, that was, we had 60,000 clients in our domain. I said, so number one, I said, I'm not snooping on your computer. Number two, I'm totally going to snoop through your computer now. because why would you do this? I was like, you just raised every red flag in my book, right? I was like, yeah, I'm definitely, you're definitely on my radar now. And he told me oh God, did you see that? Okay, if I hit F1, do I start over? Yeah, I do. Okay. And he said, I'm not putting him back in. And I said, no problem. I went back to my desk and I disabled his account in Active Directory. And I said, well, now we have a standoff, don't we? I said, because now you can't log in. So now we're going to have a problem. So, and that was a temporary fix until I could get a manager to go talk to that guy. But yeah, people are weird. You know, on our machines at work, when you log in, it says this computer belongs to the federal government, and everything you do on it can be monitored, and you should expect no privacy on this machine. And honestly, that's the way it ought to be. I mean, you know, I'm not saying necessarily for every company and every situation, but you know, there's certain things certain places where what you're doing is, you know, can be monitored. And I got to tell you, we have fired people for doing the darndest things on their computers, things that you think nobody would ever do that on a government computer. And I can tell you they did. I can tell you they have. I can tell you I've walked people's desks with security and asked them. I've walked to a server room before and asked a guy why he had set up a Doom server on a government server that was in the external domain. And yeah, it's 48 key RAM. Sorry, I got it. Like I said, something's changed. It's got everybody's names like light blue on a gray chat background, which is not the best. When I glance over there, it's tough to see who's who. But good to see you in here. I'm going to start trying to squeeze these in on Tuesday nights. And Petzl's got a kind of a group chat thing, and I actually try to go to that when I can on Tuesday night. So I don't want to step on that too much. So maybe we'll start a little earlier. Each Tuesday, I don't really know, but like I said, I was saying earlier, my wife is going back to school, and my Tuesdays and Thursdays are going to be open, so I may start trying to squeeze in some streams again, and not doing it on government hardware. We'll just stick to doing it on our own computers here at the house, our own AT&T fiber. Yeah, okay, I want to get this, I want to kill you so bad. There you go. That's something you get therapy about. They take that out of context. He just kept saying he wanted to kill him so bad. I don't know, he was taking his anger out on a helicopter, on a tank. Well, all right. Again, we can't, oh no. You can't get a high score unless you're shooting at people. You only get the points from the shooting. So we gotta, and those guys are worth more points. I gotta be shooting that guy more too. I'm shooting there. Nobody's safe on this river. You don't want to be the guy from Tubin on this river. Not with me flying through. 'Cause I'll light you up. All right. Oh, extra man. Look at that. That was like a triple threat. Got some fuel, got a bridge, got a tank, got an extra man. My God, it's like I've just left the bar. I'm like, whoa, how do you fly this thing straight? I don't think I do. Oh, got you. A little something for you. Oh, no. Oh, man. Yeah, running your side business, that's we had a guy that would oh God, I just did the same thing, the exact same thing. Let's see if I can do it 3 times. Let's make it the old The old River Raid trifecta. Oh, no. And the help desk that I worked at when I very first started, this is years ago, we had these phones that had 2 different phone numbers. And so normally we were only on one line at a time. And the person up front could see if you were on 1 line or 2 lines. But sometimes when it got real busy, you'd have to take 2 calls, put one on hold and do that sort of thing, you know. And this guy, I was the person that was in charge when the 2 main people that weren't in charge weren't there. So like when the head person and the second person were gone, I was like the 3rd guy, which meant not very often, which is exactly what I wanted. And one day the girl who answered the phone call, she said, that guy's always on 2 lines. And so I kind of went back there. And so the first line was for tech support, but the second line was for his bakery business. He was constantly taking orders for custom cakes and his bakery business. And I said, well, you should probably bake yourself a nice. I'm starting over. If I die in the first second, I'm dying. I'm starting over. That's not fair. I said, you should probably make yourself a nice farewell cake. And he did, and it was delicious. No, yeah. All right. I like that. I always like to imagine like the real life version of what's happening in a video game. You know what I mean? Like one example I always have is like whenever I do a wrong move in a fighting game, you know, like I'll kick when I meant to jump or something, and then I just imagine what that would look like in a real fight. Like if you walked up to something and you know, you needed to jump over a hole and instead you just kicked and then you fell in the hole. People would be like, why did you do that? It would just look very strange in real life, you know. And so I'm kind of imagining just this river of us flying over with hot air balloons and helicopters, us flying through, and then giant fuel containers that just save fuel. And you know, I never thought about this. I was gonna say, why have they let us, the good guys? Oh, that was tight. Why have they let us? Oh, that was not tight. Leave fuel everywhere, but maybe it's the bad guys' fuel. Maybe we're stealing the. Maybe it's their fuel, and we're just flying over and taking it. Did you ever think of that, River Raid? No. I am also, like, I'm not a military specialist, so, you know, there's certainly things I don't understand about warfare and strategy and so forth, but I somewhat question hot air balloons being in this river. And specifically, I mean, those are not like zeppelins that are protecting, you know, the river from my attack. They're literally like tourist hot air balloons that people have come in. It's like the Wizard of Oz, the wizard, and he's like, oh, you want a new heart? Well, let's go down to the river and get you one. Oh no, we've been shot, Dorothy. We're going down. Like I don't why. Yeah, that's true too. Because the balloons are in the canyon because they bounce off the walls too. They don't just. Oh, let me just shoot all the fuel here. They don't keep going, you know. So, well. I like these stretches where there's no enemies too, where it's just a leisurely. Okay, let's slow it down. Oh, you're toast. Where it's just a leisurely flight through a canyon, like nothing to see here. It's just a. Oh, I hate it when that guy shoots the fuel because there's obviously no way to get to that fuel. Before he can't possibly get there. I've heard that our very own 48K is going to be helping with some of the technical streaming. I'm going to call it interference. It's not the right word, but I always call it. I don't ever say running interference is a bad thing. I don't even say it as a good thing, but it's going to be taking over some of the technical duties at Boat Fest, which I think the guys are really happy about, and that will definitely take a load off of them a little bit and let them kind of stick to the hosting capabilities and stuff. So that will be, like I said, appreciated for them. You could go to IRC Expo. That's it, International Retro Computer Expo. Hopefully I drive the van there better than I fly this plane. IRC Expo, and if you can't make it to West Virginia, there is a virtual ticket you can buy, and you'll get access to the streaming and stuff. I don't get a cut from any of this, by the way. I don't get any money from any tickets or anybody attending it. But all I get's a good time. The more people that come there, did I get a new high score? No, I got the new high score. 12,990. All right, I'm not gonna get 16,000, but I would like to. Well, what could I get? Well, you know what? Let's set the goal at 13,000. If I set the goal at 13,000, and the only way to do that is everything must die. Fuel must die. Helicopters must die. Well, no, not that one. Not that one either. But most everything will die. Any scenic people on vacation in a hot air balloon, they gotta go. I'm sorry. Sorry that you planned your trip over a rather pleasant river in a river canyon, but you know what? That's between you and your tour guide, not me. That's a bad start. But yeah, so yeah, that's what it is. You know what I'm going to have to do is I'll have to add that information to the stream. Definitely, I'll add it to the description on YouTube, but I'll have to add a little banner or something if I'm doing some more streams, and then that way we get the word out, because like I said, the more people there and the more fun we have. So many people bring stuff. There's I know the Magnavox Pong is making a return. The original, I think it's the original Magnavox Pong. There's lots of just zigged when I should have zagged. That's what I get for drinking while I'm flying a military jet. Shouldn't do it. Got to lay off the sauce for one military mission. Oh, there goes the food. Speaking of food, I heard a rumor that Boat Fest is going to have food trucks available. I'm not sure when and where those are going to be, but that's the word on the street. That's will be something new that we haven't done yet. There's also lots of places to walk to, and it's a fun weekend. It's a fun weekend. So my wife and I are we've got some travel conflicts which are forcing us to do a pretty unique trip to Boat Fest. So we are going the weekend before. We're going to be driving down the 4th of July weekend. The event's not till the 11th. So we're going to get there. Oh, no. We're going to get there the 6th. And then spend the weekend hanging out around Hurricane, West Virginia. Going and seeing what we can see. All right. Everybody, this is it. This is the mission right here. They're like, they've sent in a maniac. They've sent in Die Hard. They've sent in John McClane. I'm like, yep, no prisoners. We went for it all. I cannot believe I pulled out John McClane. Not that I didn't know that. I just didn't know that I knew it. So yeah, we're going to be having a good time at Boat Fest. if this doesn't persuade you, this is the Boat Fest or Hurricane, and that area is where the cryptid known as Mothman is from. So, oh my God, Mothman just made me. I thought I saw a Mothman, and that's why I steered away from that ship and went right into the side of the canyon. So, one of the things that I always say on my Patreon is I always say on my podcast, I always say, hey, members of my Patreon, help me choose the games that I play on Sprite Castle. But it's not really true because I never get around to doing that, right? Like I always, because the thing is, by the time I go to a podcast, like I pick something, you know what I mean? Like I go, I've been wanting to play this, and so I just get interested in that. So it's a disservice really to those people who support me. But what I may do is start putting some polls up of games that people would like to see streamed, and maybe we can squeeze in some of those because, as you guys know, if you are familiar with the Commodore 64, the Commodore 64 library has depends on who's counting and how you count, but I've heard anywhere from 10 to 20,000 titles. Now, I don't think that's official releases, you know what I mean? I think that you have to do some funny counting to get to 20,000, but I think it's pretty much generally accepted, at least among the retro computers, that the Commodore 64 has the largest library, so people mention games to me every day. Not every day. That would be a great world, though, where people every day come up to me and talk to me about Commodore 64 games. But people come up to me a lot. And again, they don't come up to me at all. This is I'm making this story up. But they email me. And they say, would you do this game on the podcast? This is my favorite game of all time. Me and my brother played this game, and this is true. Me and my brother played this game, and and it was the best game on the Commodore 64. We played it all the time, and then I look at it and I go, I've never seen or heard of this game. I've never no recollection of this game, and that's an attest to how big the system library is. I mean, there's just so many games out there. So, there's always new ones to find. There's always new stuff to find. I think there was, I was doing an Apple II stream one night, and I was looking for games to play, and I think it was Artillery Duel. I might be wrong on the title on that, but somebody suggested a game. It was so much fun. I was like, I've never heard of this. And, all right, we're giving it one more. Next 5-figure game we'll call it. This has been a good little run to get the cobwebs. It looks like everything's working. Of course, OBS was barking, saying that it wanted to be upgraded, so on and so forth. But we'll never do that right before you think you want to stream. I think we've all learned that one. Don't touch OBS. Oh no. But I think in general things working. We may have to upgrade some backgrounds, maybe make a new intro. A little spit shine, little fresh coat of paint on stuff. But I think the framework's still here. If you guys are into it, I'll be into it, and we'll all do a thing. We'll all come here. We'll hang out. We'll party, and we'll play we'll run into airplanes. We'll run into hot air balloons. And, there's a River Raid 2, right? There's a River Raid 2. I think there's River Raid 2. And it's funny when you look up River Raid, on, Moby Games, is you get all the different, Activision anthologies, right? I was so excited when I had the original PlayStation, and I got the looking forward to the Ultimate stream. Well, the thing is, I'll just do it in real time. It'll take a month for me to figure it all out again. When I had an original PlayStation, and then all of a sudden they had like the Activision Anthology, and you could play River Raid again, you know, like I hadn't played it in a long time, and that was cool, like when those, the original collections, you know, the, I don't know what you call them, like emulation collections or whatever, and they were cool at the beginning, right? But then it was like they wanted you to keep buying them. Like you got a PSP, and they're like, "Oh, you want it on this?" And then you got PlayStation 2. They're like, "Oh, you want it on that?" PlayStation 3, you want it on that? Oh, you want to buy it on the Wii? And then after a while, I was like, I'm not buying Mario Brothers for the 19th time. I'm done buying the same games. Come on. I knew I was cutting that close. I really wanted him to be on that bridge. I have I just released a week or so ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, the 99th episode of Sprite Castle. And so I got some questions that came in from listeners and stuff for the 100th episode. Now, I'll tell you something I was thinking of, but I was thinking about doing the 100th episode live at Boat Fest. But the problem is that it's so long away. So I think what I would have to do is I'd have to continue with the podcast now and do like episodes 101 and 102 and like skip 100 and then go back and do 100 and then like kind of backfill it back in, you know? I don't know. I haven't decided about that. I guess I don't know if people find that fun or not. Or I could just do the 100th one twice. I could do it part A and part B. Oh, that's some bad news. Don't blow up that bridge. That was my last man. Okay, yeah, I think that's. I think proof of concept. I think we're good. I think. Let's get this back over here.